Hello again, this is SF Giants Fat Mike, and oh my gosh, I just got back. Yes, from the movie right on your screen, guys. From Heaven's Field, Presage Flower. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. As I've said here many times, I'm not a critic, so I don't break these down on necessarily a critical level. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the writing was messed up, because I'm going to tell you what I liked and what I didn't like. And as you can kind of tell, I really like the movie. And because of that, I'm going to start out as a Debbie Downer a little bit. Couple of things I didn't like. Okay. I'm going to start out with them just because I know I'm going to probably go on and on about how I loved this movie. So let's start out with the easy stuff. All right. What I didn't like about this movie. The one thing that kind of actually bothered me is that I know they only have 3 movies, total of 6 hours to tell this story, but they left out some exposition. I know, like with the animes, Fate Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, Ufotable, kind of the first couple episodes had a little bit too much exposition. I found this one just did not have enough. I had my 2 sisters, my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law all present. And they were kind of lost. I even kind of filled them in about the world, what was happening, this, that, the other. And then, I guess that'll take me to my second problem, is that they're kind of rushing. Again, I've said I'm starting with the cons because I love this movie. I still think they did an excellent job, but they rushed just a little too much. I think it was too much of a jump to try to put this in 6 hours. I think with the animes, they normally get it between 8 and 9 hours of runtime, and they get just enough in there. They make it feel full, they don't make it feel rushed, etc. This one feels just a tad bit rushed. And I think maybe it's the explanations, the exposition they're missing. Because I know, again, both my sisters, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are all kind of lost. And I even went and kind of explained the basics of the world and what was going on and whatnot. But they didn't explain about, like, say, how Shiro, because they were probably cramped for time, and they kind of covered that in Unlimited Blade Works, that because Shiro wasn't a proper master, he couldn't supply enough mana to Saber. And that's kind of a big deal. But they didn't go into that. They didn't go into the fact that a servant kind of has to get mana 2 ways, either enough from their master, or they can go out there and steal people's souls, or, drain their souls or mana or whatever you want to call it, like Zoken was doing there at the end of the movie, to maintain themselves. Things like that. I know, but they didn't know. Those are the 2 main things. Now, what I did like, oh my gosh, this movie was beautiful. Oh my goodness, this movie was beautiful. Now I know I said exposition and rushing, was kind of a problem for this movie. But they also did something else very well. So, okay, just to let you know, what I didn't like is that they didn't quite have enough exposition, and it felt kind of rushed. Again, these are my first thoughts, because I'm sorry, I'm just kind of sitting down. I'm tired. I got no sleep last night. Partial excitement from going to be watching the movie today, and partial just because something is kicking my butt, and neighbors. You know how it goes. There's just sometimes those nights your neighbors fall out of bed, knock something over or whatever. Seemed like everything went wrong last night. Anyway. Whoa. Apparently it's set at 5 minutes to dim. Okay, so those are the two things I didn't like. Now, what I did like, animation. Definitely love the animation. Oh my gosh, it was noticeable. From I just said his name. I'm kind of tired, guys. The Elder Motto, Zokin. There we go. Jeez, how could I forget that guy's name? He's so creepy. There's an early scene when Shiro walks Sakura home, and Zokin shows up, and that was just so super creepy. I loved it. I was kind of grossed out and doing little weird I was like, visibly grossed out. Nobody kind of realized why I was grossed out until the end of the movie, or towards the end, when Zokin kind of reveals his true form and all that stuff. What else is going on? Okay, so things I did like. Again, animation was so beautiful. I could break down and go into different shots they did that were just so awesome, because you gotta see it for yourself. Or I can recommend Otaku Daikun did a frame by frame, and he went over 5-10 scenes. It was really, really, really good. He showed a lot of stuff. Now, going on to the next thing I really liked. Okay, so we all know that iconic scene at the beginning of anytime you play Fate Stay Night. Where Shiro managed to accidentally summon Saber. Saber looks to him and says, "Are you my master?" Now, there's this, I don't know if I want to call it a theory or whatever, or, sorry guys, I'm touching the screen so it doesn't go off. There's this thing I've seen done in a number of shows, movies, whatever, where you have an iconic scene like that one with Saber, and it sets up a romance going forward. You're like, oh wow, that is so awesome. You know something sparking between the two and something's going to happen. From anime, or I'm going to call it anime, but The Last Airbender, with when Aang first sees, any other time I would have remembered her name, but I'm so tired right now. I'm so sorry. But that first episode, Katara. It's Katara. Jeez, why is my I gotta get this recorded and get to bed soon, guys. I am so tired. Oh man, I'm gonna see if I can find that extra $12.50 to go on Thursday. This was definitely worth a second watching. But I might have to just pocket that $12.50 and put that towards DVD so I can rewatch it as much as I want. Okay, so we know there's that setup shot for the future romances. Like I said with Aang and Katara. At the beginning of The Last Airbender, he's coming out of the Avatar state. He's sleepy-eyed, and the first thing he sees is Katara. And the way they set up that shot, you knew those two were going to be a thing. You just knew it. Just the way that shot went, I was like, okay, those two are going to end up together. And it did. Now, they played around with that not happening and whatnot, but it seemed kind of, just from that one shot, it really set it up going forward. And even in Unlimited Blade Works, if you go back to the iconic shot with Saber itself specifically, it sets it up and it plays with it. Even though it doesn't come to fruition in that alternate universe, it's set up and it kind of starts to play out, but then you see things starting to change. And it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is that I complained about the lack of exposition and the rushing, but I loved what they did with the beginning of the routes, because all three routes are so super similar. I love the fact that they explored Sakura and Shiro's, where they began at. I don't remember how long that took. I want to say it took like 20 minutes, but that movie was only 2 hours. I don't think that could have been 20 minutes with all that went down. I was so into that movie, even with the crowd being what it was. It was kind of rowdy. I loved it. That is to say, we had some people that would whoop and whatnot along with the movie, or, oh, that was stupid Shiro. Oh, poor Shiro. I loved it. I love those kind of crowds. But anyway, time dilation aside, and bunny trail kind of, well, I did go down it, but I love the fact that they subverted that. In that you set up Shiro and Sakura, you set up the romance there, and then they skipped that iconic scene, "Are you my master?" and all the stuff that goes on in Shiro's head. I love that they glossed over that. Because if you have that shot, I think you could confuse people into thinking Saber is the romantic partner, or however you want to put it. By skipping that part or glossing over it like they did, they really hammered home that this is Sakura's route. And I liked it. I really liked how they handled that. It was there. It showed you what happened, but it didn't spend too much time on it, because like, it might have helped to actually go through all that stuff for my relatives that were there. But for those of us that are veterans of the Fate Stay Night, that was, I think, really good. I really loved the way they did that. What else did I really like? Again, I liked the way they did Sakura and Shiro. I especially I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because I know Sakura kind of gets a bad reputation in the fandom. I've seen it around. I haven't actually been able to, again, I have not been able to get my hands on Fate Stay Night, the visual novel, or Rialto Noir, or whatever the PSP or PS Vita or whatever game it was. So I haven't actually been able to manually play through that route as much as I would love to. So I don't know what Sakura does. But having read spoilers, I really love the scene in the shed with Sakura, where Shiro and Sakura are kind of bonding. And then you kind of get the Chekhov's gun of Sakura saying, "What if I'm a bad girl? What will you do?" And then Shiro's like, "Of course, I will scold you. I'll give you a mean talking to," or whatever. I love that scene. I love how that set it up. You could see where they had that connection. And I love how they set that up. Plus, I will not lie, Sakura looked freaking awesome in that white gown dress thingy she was wearing. Versus her, uniform you normally, from the first two animes, you pretty much got to see her almost exclusively in her school uniform. To see her in that, I was like, wow. I love the fact that they have set up that Sakura's going through really bad stuff. They haven't shown it to us yet, but we get an idea when Rin goes to that pit and is ticked off. You can kind of tell and feel exactly what's going to be going down there, or what they're laying the breadcrumbs that we're going to be like, oh dang. And I won't lie, when it comes to Sakura, I tend to fall for the broken cuties. I think I've mentioned this in other videos, whether it's, Laura Kinney, aka X-23 from the Marvel Universe. She's one of my favorite characters in all of anything. She was definitely fits the broke the cutie. She's also a badass, so that really helps. But she was definitely broken, and many of the ways that Sakura was, and maybe even worse treatment. Um, she's one of my favorites. And Sakura really fits that mold. Now, I don't know if Sakura's ever going to become a badass, so to speak. I know she's going to get involved in the action a little bit if what I've read is right. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is a whole nother discussion. Whole nother discussion. So yeah, I really liked that scene, and I really liked how they're building up that bond between Sakura and Shiro. You knew they kind of had a bond in the Dean anime and Unlimited Blade Works, but it wasn't played up like it was here. And again, if you guys go back to one of my first videos, I want to say that was one of the things I really didn't like about Unlimited Blade Works, is that Sakura wasn't really featured as much as I thought she should have been. I also like kind of the looming, I don't know if you want to call it threat, but how Ilya is kind of looming over everything. You know, she showed up with Berserker, started wrecking house, and it ended up with Shiro's, quite frankly, his guts on the floor. Luckily, they did that good setup shot with, even though I don't think they're going to go into it in this route, they did do the setup shot with Avalon in Shiro. Kind of, it flashes as it's starting to heal him or whatever. And that was pretty cool. I really like how Ilya's kind of like looming over everything. I want to say in this route, typically, she's quote unquote on the side of the angels. I don't know if that is quite right. But she still has that, she's still at the very least at that ending shot that she was in. She's kind of looming over everything. And then you kind of, get where she's going, you know. I don't know what that is, but I know it's the Ironsburns. I'm guessing that's the Heaven's Feel dress we've been seeing going around. At least that's just a guess, because I know she gets it in the route, and I know that's what it's named for. But all of a sudden, this cloak-looking thing shows up and starts wrecking house. I don't know if that's part of the Grail mud, which I know is what, in the original visual novel, that is what actually got Saber. But it looked like from those tendrils and stuff, it looks very similar to what the jacket was doing, if that makes any sense, guys. Oh my gosh, I think I've been going for almost 20 minutes. Was it... crud, I have been. You can tell how much I like this. I'm been going on for almost 20 minutes, and I could keep going and keep going and keep going. But that, these have been my initial impressions, guys. I really love it. If I can make it on Thursday, I'll do a follow-up video. I might do a follow-up video just as more organized thoughts. This is just me reacting to the movie right afterwards, my fresh impressions. What I liked, what I didn't like. There was an extra dislike I had, but I forgot it. What was it? It was something very minor, but I don't remember what it was, guys. Now, again, like I said, I'm tired and I'm kind of rambling at this point. All right, guys, thank you so much if you made it to the end of this. I really appreciate it. Just to give you guys a quick breakdown, maybe I should save it for another video. Well, whatever. I got a email. I guess YouTube is starting to do emails and talk about how your channel did and this, that, the other. I know it's not much, but my channel got like almost 7.5, 8 hours of view time last month. I just want to say thank you guys for everything. I'm not even a monetized channel. I'm nowhere near it. I want to say I got something like 14 subscribers now. I'm just amazed that I even have more than one, you know. One of my family members subbed to me. Okay, I could expect family to sub, but 13 random strangers? Hey, I highly appreciate all you guys that spend the time to go through this with me. Oh man. I want to talk more. Oh, that was one of the things I did. I think that was it. I'm actually looking at her right now. Let me see. Is my thing going to do the little... No, it's not doing it. But yeah, I did not like that one scene with Zokin and Medea. I don't know what is all going down with... I want to say the original assassin and Ku have been absorbed by something. I don't know what. But Zokin somehow got a hold of Medea's body before it dissipated. And that just disturbed me. I don't want to say it's a dislike so much as that it just... My dislikes, my likes, and the thing that was disturbing was that scene. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. That scene. It was, again, a good fight scene. It led into stuff. It was just so sad to see Medea reduced to that. I guess Medea's corpse also got absorbed. I'm thinking by Heaven's Feel, but I'm not 100% certain on that. It would make sense because the Grail is wanting to get the mana. Maybe it's trying to transfer it. I don't know. I will have to see, guys. That is another thing I liked, is that since this isn't the routes that I'm really familiar with from the animes, I can't exactly sit here and say everything that I know everything that's going to happen. But anyway, guys, like I was trying to start wrapping up and then I found another bunny trail. I will see you guys next time. I will talk to you later. Bye.